Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Good evening, y'all. My name is Tabitha Enoch. I use she, her pronouns, and I work in the Office of Orientation and New Student Programs. I am delighted to welcome y'all to our Wednesday web tonight with this all-star, fabulous, dynamic team and student engagement. Hopefully, some of you all have already attended your orientation session. And if you have not, you are in for a treat tonight. We don't get a chance to go into the ways in which students get involved or fully plugged in during summer orientation, although we have an open house for y'all to meet our student engagement team. And so this is a really great opportunity for, if you've attended orientation or not attended orientation, to sort of get a sense of what we offer around student involvement and engagement and inclusion. So thank you for joining us on our Wednesday web. And with that, I'm gonna turn it over to the fantastic student engagement team. Thanks y'all for coming out tonight.
Tab, appreciate the introduction, Queen Tab, hype girl extraordinaire. I can't see none of y'all, but glad that you are here, everybody who has showed up. I want to introduce y'all to the student engagement team. So a little bit about our office. We're here to develop engaged citizen leaders. So our team is as follows. We got boss man John Chaney, who is assistant dean and interim director of our office. You got Tyree Mathis, Brittany Terry, and then myself, and we are all representing the program coordinators for the student engagement office. So while you are here, we would love for you to participate by dropping questions in the chat. So add them throughout the presentation, and John will be typing the answers or working to type the answers for you. Hopefully we will be able to address a lot of your questions throughout our presentation, but if not, we will also have a Q&A session at the very end if the presentation and or John does not answer your questions.
Sorry about that. I was having a little trouble unmuting myself. But yes, like Devon said, my name is Tyree Mathis, he, him, his pronouns. So to get that chat function practice, if you haven't done so already, now is going to be the time. So what we want y'all to do for us is just let us know your name, where you're coming from, and why do you think student engagement or involvement is important? So we'll give y'all a few seconds to throw those things in the chat, and then I'll ask, just read some aloud. John, Devon, Britt, whatever y'all see. Okay, so we got Skylar from Roanoke, ready for some a cappella and to meet other students with similar interests. Also, I'm a huge fan of some a cappellas. I can't sing, but I love to listen. I love it.
Okay, I see Virginia is very well represented so far. We got Will coming from Minneapolis.
Developing community is a theme. Becoming involved within the UVA community. Lots of things about community for sure, absolutely.
Meeting people. Make good
connections. We got Elizabeth from Alaska, this bad boy.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Shout out Alaska.
Coming from all over. Okay, cool.
We got Saudi Arabia in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Got some people excited to be able to live on their own for the first time. I can absolutely empathize with you. Yes, and ultimately, none of these are wrong answers. They're all correct and yes, and affirmed in that essentially when it comes to being involved and being engaged, it is to build community. It is to build some of those leadership skills, some of those social skills. And so it's all the things that you wouldn't normally get inside the classroom. Being engaged and being involved helps you develop all of those things. So I'll go ahead and keep it moving on to our next slide, which is, is it up there?
Yep, I got it. So some of the things that we do in our office is we advise and do leadership development with our contracted independent organization. So if you have already attended orientation, you probably heard us talk about CIOs, and that's what CIOs stand for. We also have our leadership library, and then we do some programming within the office. So how to get involved. Now I need you all to pull out your phones, make sure you have your phones ready because we got some QR codes coming up for you. So a platform that we're using, you all probably already used it or you're getting ready to use it if you haven't attended orientation already, is Who's Involved. This is where you can kind of filter and sort through the organizations. We have a calendar of events that's being promoted on Who's Involved. You can find out about ways to be involved on grounds, such as public service pathways, crash course UVA for our transfer students. So please scan this. It'll take you to the page and you can just kind of get a feel for what's on there. And so we also have our events calendar. So if you're interested in attending events, get free food, free swag, all of that, go to Who's Involved. I think in our next slide, it'll show you what it looks like because we have an app that'll show you all of the events. The organizations tab, you can basically filter through that and pick, like, if you're interested in music or you're interested in athletics or anything like that, you can filter through it to find organizations that tailor towards those things. And also you can use it to contact a CIO directly. So when you go to a CIO's page, you'll see the contact information. It's usually probably for their president/chair or just someone that wants to be the contact person for that organization. And they're pretty good about getting back to students about ways to get involved in their organization. And then just discover experiences. So just ways to engage with events that's on grounds, really just experiencing different journeys through public service pathways. So, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Avery.
Sorry about
I
that.
got carried away.
And as Britt had mentioned on the previous slide, this is what the app looks like. So you can search for Who's Involved in the App Store and it'll show up for you. Unfortunately, it's not available for download on Google Play and Android right now, but it will be hopefully soon. So that way you all can use this on your phone to get a handheld experience and just scrolling through events and whatnot. And as Tat mentioned before, if you have already been through orientation already, you already know what this looks like. You have already seen this thing in action. And if you haven't, you should probably download it now because you will be using it pretty soon. And then as an FYI too, with the app, right now it doesn't give you all the capabilities that the web-based app does. So sorting and finding organizations is much easier if you're just on your laptop or on a computer and you're able to drop down and click through categories, search a little bit more efficiently for what it is that you may like, or filtering through different things that you may be interested in, whether it be events or organizations. So as Britt had mentioned on the previous slide as well, CIO, you'll hear that term a lot. Ultimately, what it really just stands for is student organization. We can get into the weeds about what CIO means, but I'm sure y'all would not want to be bored by any of that. Just know that it stands for student organization, that's essentially what it serves as. So there are CIOs, there are also agency organizations and special status organizations. All are organizations in which you can be involved in whatever capacity you see fit. But of those, there are about 675 plus or minus 20, 30, give or take the time of year. So that's clearly a lot of things that you can be involved with. And with that being said, you want to make sure that you take advantage of who's involved to sift through and sort by the different categories that exist, such as arts, public service, cultural, ethnic groups, club sports, social and hobbies, academic, professional, religious, and spiritual. All of these different categories can help you filter and clarify what are the things that you're already interested in, what things already exist on grounds, and how you can get involved with those particular organizations.
So just touching briefly on organizations again. As we saw in the previous slide, we have, I mean, it's actually north of 700 CIOs now. So that can be incredibly overwhelming, right? Also, we just want you to know as a staff, we got you. So if you ever have any issues with who's involved, we have created programming. One of them is called the Involvement Calculator. And what it is we bring students in who have just additional questions. We bring in certain CIOs for them to meet as well. And it just helps facilitate getting you involved in the organization that you are interested in, based on these types of keywords and these categories that you see here on the screen. So don't worry about having to absorb all of this information at once. We as a staff are here throughout the year to guide you and to help you and help facilitate getting you plugged in to where you would love to be. Also, please save the date. There will be an activities fair. It is the Monday before classes start. So Monday, August 22nd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you have already been to orientation, you know where the lawn is, you know where the amphitheater is. If you have not been to orientation yet, you will discover those as soon as you come. So in both the South Lawn and the amphitheater, you will have the majority of our CIOs present, tabled up, booth, swag, hopefully snacks too. So you can go and meet and greet and get signed up in person. So that'd be a great way for you to get plugged in and to meet a bunch of CIOs. So now we are going to dive a little bit into the organizations and leadership opportunities advised through our office. Also wanted to send a quick reminder. Please, if you have questions, please utilize the Q&A, and John will be holding it down in the chat for us. So these are a few of the programs that we advise through student engagement. One is Blueprint Leadership, University Programs Council, and we are going to go through all of these individually. The University Board of Elections, Student Council, and our Women's Leadership Development Program. So these are the main organizations that we directly advise through student engagement.
All right, with that said, I act as the advisor for Blueprint Leadership Program. Excuse me. And so Blueprint Leadership Program ultimately serves to provide first year students with a toolbox of fundamental leadership skills and qualities, such as like critical thinking, public speaking, teamwork, communication, etc. And this program primarily takes place in the spring semester, where you'll spend about 8 weeks with the entire Blueprint group, but you have your own specific group in which you work with to complete a group project centered around one of the following topics: mental health, political participation, student safety, income affecting education, and plenty more. And for that reason, many Blueprint participants often seek admission to the comm school, because a part of the admission into comm school, or a part of the requirements within comm school, is working on some sort of group project similar to what Blueprint does. So this is a great opportunity for that. And even if you're not looking to get into comm school, which you don't have to be if you want to be a part of Blueprint, it's still a great opportunity to just learn what it's like to work in a team at this level. I'm sure many of you have been involved in different organizations in high school. Obviously here is probably be different with different budgets, bigger budgets, smaller budgets, different groups of people coming from different areas. Like we said, we got people from Alaska, Minnesota. I'm sure in your high schools, that's probably not the case. I don't know, but I'm sure you will have great opportunities to work with a vast group of people within an organization or a program like Blueprint.
All right, and up next, we have the University Board of Elections. This is the organization that I directly advise. If you have, I'm sure up until this point in your process, you have heard of student self-governance. You have probably heard a different definition from every person you've talked to that has brought it up. But as a part of the student self-governance, we wanted to make sure we had a student-led initiative that was able to facilitate our elections, all of our student elections in an equitable way. So back in 2003, UBE was created to further the aims of student self-governance within a community of trust and honor, and to supervise all university-wide elections. So that includes the big ones like Student Council, Honor Committee, and the University Judiciary Committee. So it's a great organization if you want to be a part of helping to facilitate and help get students engaged in their civic duty as students. We would love to have you join, or just when you're able to vote, you can do it from your phone. We set it all up for you. All you have to do is click on the email on your phone. It'll take a few seconds to cast your vote. This past spring, we actually had an historic election in which an honor referendum was passed, ending expulsion as a single sanction for committing an honor offense. So this particular sanction had been on the books for years and years and years, and students wrote up the referenda, students voted for it, so students got that overturned. A huge victory for students, by students, and UBE helps to facilitate that.
Sorry, I forgot I was muted. So now we have the Women's Leadership Development Program. I advise that program. It's a 5-session program that happens in the spring semester. It's geared towards first year, second year, and transfer women at UVA. It's basically a way to encourage women on grounds, basically help them build confidence and community. There's guest speakers that come in. We've had a program on mental health. We've had a program on just how to show up in the workplace. So there's different kind of programs that are led by your peers in just ways to kind of build those leadership skills. It's basically for women to find ways to feel empowered, innovative, and really being empathetic towards others. It's basically there's 2 chairs and they are also your peers. So it's programs for you put on by your peers.
All right, now on to the fun stuff, the real fun stuff. This is the party right here. And I mean that literally and figuratively. So UPC is the University Programs Council. And what that is they're a programming board that provides students with a wide variety of entertaining and educational activities and events. So at the bottom, you can see those are some examples of events put on by UPC last year. So Culture Fest, which is a cultural festival celebrating all the various cultural CIOs and organizations at UVA. Southfest, as you can see, there's a running theme with festivals here with UPC. Southfest comedian Sal Volcano came for a part of our Spring Fest, which is also a large scale festival celebration thing. They really like fun, I'm telling you. And Twilight and the Tundi. So these are just examples of programs that UPC does, in addition to many others throughout the year to supplement the great programming that other CIOs do as well. And oftentimes they collaborate with those CIOs to host these programs such as Culture Fest and Twilight and the Tundi. These are the committees that make up UPC. So there's arts and enrichment, cinema, cultural connections, late night, PKG, which is concerts. Still to this day, I don't know what PKG stands for. I feel like John has told me, I don't know. They do the concerts. SNG, which is smiles and giggles, and specials. And UPC they're pretty active with recruiting members, so you can expect to hear a lot from them early on. A lot of the Wahoo Welcome programs and events that are being planned are UPC events, so they are dying to have y'all there. They're waiting for your attendance, and they are hopeful that you will show up for those things because, like I said, they're fun, and everybody likes a little bit of fun.
So now we have our workshop series. As I said before, our team, we're here to help develop you all as leaders and just put on programs for you all. So this is kind of more of the section that talks about that. So as you get involved on grounds and possibly become a chair or president or just a part of the exec board, we have CIO roundtables and then we have CIO town halls. And so our roundtables are really made to kind of create a space for you all to support each other as leaders on grounds and to be able to have conversations about what's going on in your CIO and what's some things that you can do to maybe improve, or just some other ideas that maybe you just didn't think of before, or to voice your ideas and opinions with your peers. So one of the examples is we usually have like a theme, because it's once a month at the end of the month, the last Monday, I believe, of every month. And it's usually a theme. So it could be about building community. It could be about ways to get people involved in your organization. So those are just some examples of different topics to kind of just have for you all to be able to see how are other organizations getting people involved, how are other people building community, and what are some ways that you can build community. Our town halls, they typically happen in the beginning of the year, right at the beginning of the semester. Basically, it's just a space for, once again, student leaders to gather, but this time we're giving you all information about like event planning, which is basically the way that you all would reserve rooms on grounds, just different processes around grounds, and resources in general. And so we also have our leadership workshops that we're having for this semester coming up. You all also should be able to see this on the Wahoo welcome page, I believe. But this is just a list of some of the things that we have in our office. August 30th, UVA 101 speed friending. Please come out to that. That's a good way to just get to know people and kind of just get your feet wet a little bit on grounds.
All right, so as part of the student engagement team, we host an Adulting 101 multi-part series for students interested in learning about healthy ways to transition out of school, but also we had undergraduate participation. So we would love if any incoming first years transfer students come and join us and be involved as well. We got free food. We have a lot of great giveaways and a lot of great content. So just as an example, this past year, we included sessions on managing expectations, developing community, financial awareness and skills, and our brand new student health and wellness building host a cooking kitchen, which is really dope. We have just a state-of-the-art cooking kitchen, and we actually sponsor the students who are interested in going and just learning how to cook up a little bit something. Now, once you are on grounds, we would love for you to come see us. We are located in the PAC. The PAC is located in Newcomb Hall. Again, if you have been to orientation, you have been to Newcomb Hall already. If you have not, you will see us. We are also there in open house, and we will be there to greet you. So inside of the building of Newcomb Hall, down on the bottom, first floor, in Suite 164, if you are a person like me and you need landmarks and you need references, it is around the corner from the Chick-fil-A. So if you know what a Chick-fil-A is, we're right around the corner from the Chick-fil-A. So grab your Chick-fil-A and then come see us. And student engagement, and we would love to meet you, love to partner with you, and love to get you plugged into however you would like to be involved. This is another QR code that just gives you access to our particular website. So we have the student engagement website, studentengagement.virginia.edu. We have our Who's Involved website, who'sinvolved.virginia.edu, and then student engagement at virginia.edu. So hit the QR code. This also gives you an opportunity to meet with any of us individually, if you so choose. If you need help, again, getting plugged in, we are here to assist and walk with you and partner with you in that. So.
I'll jump in here. And so, since you heard some of the things that we have to offer here, what are you most excited about when you arrive on grounds? And you can just put your answers in the chat. Gaining independence and making friends. Okay, William is ready. The activities fair and exploring all 675 plus CIOs. Hey, way to take on a challenge. Have a lot of meeting new people and living on my own. And co-sign with Tyree put in the chat. I'm excited to meet all of you too. Okay. Well, you all can keep adding to the chat, just things that you're looking forward to. And if you all have any questions, please feel free to ask now while we're here and able to hopefully answer your questions.
You're welcome to put questions in the chat while we have some time. You are also welcome to raise your hand if you'd rather raise your hand, and you can unmute if you'd like. Right? Can we do that? Maybe not in webinar format. So yeah, shoot us any other questions you might have in the chat. We've got a couple more minutes before we log off and leave for the evening. We really want to be a resource for you all. And so let us know how we can be helpful. Oh, we've got a question in the chat. So what does applying for an organization CIO look like? So all the student organizations manage it differently. So it really depends on the student organization. The best way to start is go to the student activities fair, get some of their information pamphlets, get their free swag that they're handing out, and ask them what their process looks like. A lot of the a cappella groups have auditions. Some of them have applications. Some organizations don't have any application or interview, so you just show up to their meeting and you're in. And so it really depends by each organization. So you're going to want to reach out to that org and see kind of what their process looks like. Someone has in the chat, do certain clubs require a membership fee, or are all clubs free? Also dependent on the organization. So some organizations are a part of national chapters, and because of that, they have membership dues. And so there is a small fee. The majority of organizations, over 50%, have a very low cost, less than $20 for students who are in those organizations, and many are free. And so that's a great question when you're meeting with some of these organizations when you arrive on grounds or you're contacting them on how to, what the cost is for the organization, because that could very well be a factor for you. What's the best way to sign up for orgs and clubs? Attend the student activities fair. I think that is a great option. It's not the only option, so you're also welcome. That's what Who's Involved is for as well. The contact information is there for you to email the organization if the idea of going to a giant activities fair in the middle of summer in Virginia is not your cup of tea. That's totally all right. And so reach out to that organization if there's something that you're really interested in. If you're really looking to find other people who love cereal, join the cereal club. If you want to find a club sport, look for a club sport that is a sport you're interested in, and you can contact them from Who's Involved as well.
And John, to jump in on the previous question, if I'm not mistaken, about the membership fees and dues, is there, or did you mention the tab in Who's Involved that allows for you to sort by that, right?
That's great. So on each organization's main profile page, there is actually each organization does a census when they renew each year, and it'll let them, it has a question as, is there any cost to members as to be a part of your organization? And so they'll have that filled out there for you. And so you'll be able to see right from the organization's main page if there's any cost associated with being a member of that organization. While you all are thinking of any other questions, and we'll start wrapping up for the day, know that there is no timeline for figuring out how to get involved. As you've seen from some of our programs, we serve all years of students. And so there's a lot that happens in those first couple of weeks of school. But know that we work with students all the time who are second years, who are still looking to find ways to get involved. People who are transfer students. I work a lot with transfer students who are trying to find what their place is on ground. So no, it's totally okay to not have it all figured out in those first couple of weeks. That's what we're here for. We want you to explore and try and discover something new. And that's what we're all here for you as you are starting your UVA journey here in Charlottesville. We're really excited to have you all here on grounds. Thank you, Skylar. UVA is just so quiet over the summer. And so we're excited for you and all the energy you're gonna bring. And we're really excited to see you hopefully at the UPC concert and a comedian. During Wahoo Welcome, Tyree and I are working with UPC right now to get those finalized. We can't tell you who it is, but get hype. The UPC members who are planning it are very excited, so you should be too. Any other last minute questions before we wrap up for today?
Well, thank you all from our student engagement team. I really appreciate you all taking a Wednesday night out of your schedules to welcome and give this good information to our students. And those of you all who are still on the call, we thank you for this opportunity to talk to you. If there's any other questions, these folks here are willing and able to answer any questions that you have. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we'll look forward to seeing you in the fall. Thanks, y'all. Take it easy. Oh, there's the website, the email address, Student Engagement at Virginia.